Hello guys. This is the first actual video on this channel, funny enough. And that is because I didn't even want to put in the effort most of the time. I had some serious, let's just say, mental problems, and while I still have them, I'm hoping that I'm better enough now I can, do what I've been wanting to do with this channel. Cause really, all I've been doing is making random shorts, and while that's cool and all, I think I should actually put in some effort and make the kind of content I really want for the Scene's channel. So I guess let's do a quick introduction of what I'm trying to accomplish. So as in the name and what it describes, it's pretty self-explanatory. I want this channel to be about scene music and scene culture. Both the good, bad, and the ugly. I have a lot of good friends in the scene and Scenecore subcultures and music scenes. I do hope to maybe do interviews over like a call or something at some point. I also do dabble in a bit of music myself, but it's not very good. Just think about the worst, like hyperpop, Scenecore stuff, and imagine it being worse pretty much. But I am trying to get better at making music, so if you're interested in seeing the few bad songs I put out there, search up Killing This Vibe. It should hopefully be all that comes up. If you need a more specific search results, search up Killing This Vibe Next Victim. That's my first song and probably one of my only decent ones. But anyway, I should get to the actual point of this video. So the point of this video is the problem with scene versus scenecore. So this might not offend, but some people really might disagree with my points in this video, but I think it's important to express my opinion. So what I mean by scene versus scenecore is kind of a complex matter. But essentially, it's the difference, or lack thereof, of old school scene kids and scenecore. So I'm gonna do my best to explain the difference real quick before I get into deeper discussion, I guess. So a scene kid is someone who grew up or listened to the old stuff, or someone who still does kind of live that kind of life. So I mean like stuff from like the mid 2000s to the mid 2010s. Like the hair extensions, super colorful, tons of wrist bracelets, and basically a pre-game to current rave culture, pretty much. But I think it's important to distinct scene as in a music genre into three separate categories. And yes, this is inspired by Phil McKenzie and other people I've done research on. So the first one, which is probably the biggest genre of scene music because it's not specifically scene, is metalcore. Metalcore is like a specific kind of metal that basically focuses more on the image, how the people look, and, breakdowns instead of solos and talents. That's not to say people in metalcore bands aren't talented or they can't do really good solos, it's just that that's not the point of their music, really. People who fit into this can really vary, but I think the biggest bands are probably, Asking Alexandria, Black Veil Brides, but they're not really metalcore. But they're adjacent, I guess. Bring Me the Horizon, of course. And, well, they're not really making metalcore anymore, but they are starting to go back to the heavier sounds, which I really like. Next up is what I like to call just the scene music, like more specifically, I guess. So this is basically the stuff that you think of when you think of specifically scene, like the music that's specific to scene culture. This includes stuff like, crunkcore, some parts of party rap, like rave music made by emos, I guess is a good way to explain it as well. So think Blood on the Dance Floor. Obviously, they're not good people, but they're probably the best example. Other examples, some, I guess, less, bad people, could be things like Millionaires, Broken Side, Medic Droid, and basically anyone inspired by those groups. There's also early Hollywood Undead, I guess what it counts. And of course, the very famous Jeffree Star, who a lot of people probably don't even know used to make music. That actually is how he started his career and how he got into the position of being able to make a cosmetic company. He did retire right before Jeffree Star's cosmetics became a thing, though. And so on. There's a lot of people inspired by them, and a lot of modern people are inspired by these scene artists, too. I guess the third category, well, it kind of accidentally, mix up the second and third categories, but I guess to be more specific, what I mean by the third category, I basically mean like the more poppy stuff that scene kids listen to. This would be stuff like Metro Station, I guess like later Millionaires. Hyperpop is a good one. Hyperpop is something that's not specifically scene, or even specifically scenecore, but it's something that I feel is heavily inspired, and a lot of scene kids make and listen to hyperpop. So that's where we get to Scenecore. So I definitely think there are a lot of poses in the scene and Scenecore scenes, but I'm not really someone who likes gatekeeping, so I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. There are people who legitimately care about the culture and who people who legitimately make decent music who are more in the Scenecore style of thing. Great examples of people like Suicide Idol or whoever that is. Obviously, Barely Human, Auditori. Some of my friends have actually made beats for these people, and I might as well shout out them. Shout out Oatblood. He can be found on Instagram, YouTube, whatever. He doesn't really have that many views. You should really go support him. He's made a lot of great stuff for a lot of great artists, including himself. He also has a long and very diverse music career, too. You should check out some of his older stuff, too. But anyway, I guess I still gotta see the nuance in the situation. So while I don't believe in the general Scenecore is bad and all poser music, thing that a lot of my contemporaries believe in, but I do believe those people still exist. There's obviously people who basically just make really shitty hyperpop. I mean, obviously a lot of scene music's pretty bad too, but I mean like people who basically just make terrible hyperpop and then use the image to sell it, and then that's it. And that's not to say that image can't sell things, or that's necessarily a bad thing. It's the fact that these people basically use scene and Scenecore to promote their music when it's not really related. And, that's what I mean about seeing the nuance. At the end of the day, there's nuance in everything. And I think specifically when it comes to scene versus Scenecore, there's both a lot of good bad on either side of the equation. And I think more scene artists should be embracing Scenecore and hyperpop instead of pushing it away, especially because if it weren't for these Scenecore and hyperpop artists, they wouldn't have had such a revival in their careers and stuff. I respect Broken Side. I really like them, and I don't think they're necessarily gatekeeper types, but some of the fans certainly are. But I don't think Broken Side would be trying to release so much new music if they didn't think they would hit the TikTok crowd that's been sparked up by people like Barely Human. And they have collaborated with several Scenecore artists, and I definitely don't think Broken Side are the issue. There's people on either side that are the problem. There's of course the scene kids, or used to be scene kids, that basically accuse Scenecore of just being a poser art form, and that these people have no respect or care for the old scene stuff. And I've definitely seen a lot of Twitter comments and YouTube videos that definitely back up their side of the story. But Scenecore kids also looking back at old scene music and disrespecting it doesn't help the situation at all. Like, all these people who make hyperpop and use the scene image are basically saying, oh, Dr. Curve is shit, so why do I have to care about him or what he did? That's definitely just as bad as being one of those quote-unquote posers or ruining the scene kind of people. Obviously, you shouldn't disrespect the people who came before you, and even if Curve or Broken Side weren't your inspirations, the people who are your inspirations were probably inspired by them, and you really shouldn't disrespect the old style of scene music when the old style of scene music is the reason why your style of music even exists in the first place. In general, I think all forms of scene music are valid in the scene as long as you stick by the principles and stick by the culture. And I mean that in a very loose way. Obviously, I don't think scene culture is much of a culture as emo or even punk is, but I do think that the basic principles of, not giving a fuck about the haters, being supportive of the LGBT, just wanting to have a good time and wanting to spread positivity instead of negativity, I think that's generally what you should go for.